Hello, everyone. Welcome back to one more episode of Live Talk. And look who is with us. Wait, hold on. I need to think mirror-wise. I think you will be on the screen on this side. Hello, Dreemie.
Okay. Hi.
Good to see you again. Good to have you back. How you
Awesome
doing?
to be here. So good. So good.
So, by the way,
Yes.
um, Dreamy's contact information is in the description box. Please visit her channel. What is the name of your channel, Dreamy?
The site or the
Well,
Dreemport
both. The Dreamport.
I I'll have to give you the Dreemport YouTube.
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
haven't
I still
you
haven't, no, because
the
it's
new
still
handle.
new. Yeah. So
Mm,
when I get that, I'll send it,
all
but
right,
I'll just send the normal. And then
all right.
dreamport.com.
Well, dreamport.com. Please
Yeah.
visit dreamport.com. And if you don't know what that is, please visit her YouTube
Yeah.
channel. It's in the description box, and it's just a perfect platform for young, talented artists, writers, no, well, writers
Yeah.
mostly, right?
Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
time, writers. That's the
Yeah.
main focus, right? But Dreamy explains everything in detail in her YouTube channel. Please subscribe and give like to every one of her videos and share them with the whole world. That's
That's right.
do it now,
Right now.
right now.
How
Oh
was your
man.
Christmas?
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, we celebrated, probably like most families, we had two celebrations, right?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe even three, depends, right? But
Right.
we celebrated 3 or 4 days before Christmas
Okay.
with my wife's family,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the 24th, just us,
Okay.
my wife, my kids, and I at home. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice. Good food, good people. Just
Of course.
relax, chilling.
Yeah.
This time around, this year I noticed it very, very strongly that because our kids are getting older,
Yeah.
things run much smoother
Of course.
as in
Yes.
years
Yeah.
in the past, right? So
Yeah.
that was a good change. I mean, I really enjoyed it in a different way as in previous Christmases. So it was
Yeah.
great. What about
Yeah.
you?
Well, unlike you, we actually only have normally one Christmas because
Okay.
in the last few years, well, in 1999, we moved to California.
Yeah.
So my husband's family is still back,
Hmm.
3,500 miles away.
Right.
So we only had my family, but about 3 years ago, my family moved to the back to the East Coast. So it's
Hmm.
just us now that's on the West Coast.
Hmm.
So we've always had a really quiet holiday, but
Hmm.
this year,
What do you do? What do you do?
on Christmas Eve,
Right.
my daughter got engaged.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. So yeah, so
This
this
comes
year.
like this comes like as a huge surprise for me.
Yeah, and for her, well, not totally because he's been a part of our lives, and
Mhm.
we live and work at a Christian camp.
Right.
He had offered to work up there,
Hmm.
knowing no one,
Wow.
and just deciding he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, and so he decided what better way to like ask God to help him, lead and guide than to just put himself in a position where he's just really open.
Right.
So within 2 weeks, he had met my daughter. Well, he met her right away,
Right.
but within 2 weeks, he realized she's kind of special,
Right.
and she also realized he's kind of special, and we did not allow our children to date until they were 18. And they really, because they watched what their younger friends, or I should say their friends when they were younger,
Right.
kind of experienced through dating and realized this is a lot for like
I
our
know.
age to be dealing with.
Right.
And my kids are they're very mature. I mean, because you would think some kids would be like, I don't care. I want that. I want to have the fun. But my kids had this we were so blessed that they were able
Right.
to look at that and go, you know what? I'll wait because I'm not ready for that, you know?
Right.
Um, so when Caleb came along, Sydney was already 19
Right.
and he asked her right away, do you think we should go out? Do you think we should, you know? And she said, I don't think I'm ready. Let's keep getting to know each other. We're working together. I see you all the time. We can still
Perfect, you
enjoy.
know?
She was so wise about it.
Right.
And so he was okay with that. He said, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's continue to kind of, you know, go out in groups with your brother, with my friends and all of that." But then sure enough, you know, she finally came to us and said, I think I'm ready. And I said, and you know, my husband said, we think you're ready too. I think, you know, for me, because they work at a Christian camp and summer was coming, I knew that it would be chaotic. So I suggested they waited till after summer. They thought about it, prayed about it, and said, we respectfully would like to date before summer. And I said, it's your decision. You know, I support you guys. And they've just always been super respectful, super like they've honored us all along the way. So we've, you know, I'd say about 5 months ago, Caleb just sent me a video one day. We were video chatting. He was with Sydney and some friends, and we were talking back and forth.
Right.
And Sydney says to me, Mom, he just said something. I want you to hear him. And she's like, Go ahead, Caleb, say it again. And he goes, I just want to start calling you mom. And I'm like, You can call me mom.
What,
So
what, what,
at
what a feeling. I mean, how does it
yes,
feel?
it
What,
feels amazing. Like I had already considered him the
right.
one for my daughter. She was
Okay.
kind of confirming that. So for him to say that, it was like, you know, and it's such a blessing to have, we love his family because
Right.
too many times kids get into relationships and they just think we're the only ones that matter.
Right.
And it's not, it's a whole family. I mean, when you have
Right.
children, yeah, you
It's
know,
a it's a
it's
it's a whole deal. I mean, it's not just
yes,
the couple, but it
right.
involves so many people around. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So when we saw that we got along with his family and we loved him, we loved his sisters, his little brother, like it was just a blessing. So this year we actually had two Christmases. We had one with our family and then we went to
Uh,
his family and it was just amazing. It was incredible. It was like I just kept thinking, and my husband as well, just kept going like, God, thank you for
oh yeah.
giving us this kind of like relationship because I'm already thinking, you know, in the future when there's grandbabies, these are the grandparents that I'm sharing the grandbaby with, you know?
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
you are for forever connected
Tied.
to each
Yeah,
other. Yeah.
exactly.
This is
Yeah.
this is just a huge topic, and I repeat it again. Congratulations! This is
Thank you.
a huge deal, and it sounds like you are very happy with
So happy.
with that.
Yeah.
With your son, the new
Yep.
son.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's a great thing. And but speaking of relationships
Yeah.
and this is a great subject if we can use this to build a conversation
Sure.
today, because I have 4 kids, and they're too young. uh, we have the same philosophy as
Yeah.
you do. I mean, our kids are, well, our oldest daughter is 18,
Okay.
just this year became 18,
Mm-hmm.
but we foster the more or less the same philosophy, like, no, this is not the right time, focus
Yeah.
on you, and
Yes.
and just last week we were talking at the table after lunch,
Uh-huh.
and we got into that in the conversation, and they see, just like you just said, what their friends, or many, or
Yes.
some of their friends
Yes.
go through, at
Yeah.
a very young age, and they are like, my God, no way. I mean,
Right.
no, it's
Yeah.
just a very turbulent time.
So much.
I dated a lot, and when I was a teen in my young years,
Yeah.
and uh, and that's, I don't know. I mean, some people say, well, would you do something different in your life? And a lot of people say no. No, I
Right.
wouldn't do anything different.
Right.
Because of that, I am the person that I am
Right.
today. I don't know. There are some things that I that I would
Right.
prefer. I wouldn't do it again. I would go
Right.
back. I would like to really go back and
Yeah.
and and do things different. So I know that relationship, and I don't know what you think about it, but you know, in this age, it's just so demanding.
Yes.
Time, money, energy, emotions, and then all the relationships. Because
Yeah.
gossip and breakups
Yeah.
and ups and
And
downs are
now
like, oh
they're adding in this pressure that we didn't have, which is everything is on display
yes,
publicly on social
mm,
media. So they're having these very private, they're growing as individuals. Before they
mm,
should be in a relationship, they should at least know who they are.
yes,
And they're experiencing this growth on
mm,
this like global platform where everybody and they can't get away from it.
yeah,
They say something and it comes back to them 3, 6 months, 9 months later.
mhm,
And it's just, and then you add in the pressure of a relationship that is now
mhm,
public and
mm.
somebody is having arguments, online. And
And then the
it's too
competition
much.
and
Yes.
and, and jealousies and
It's so
yeah,
much. It's
yeah, it's
so
too much.
much. Well, and that's another thing that we didn't let our children have, is telephones, like cell phones.
Hmm.
Um, now the reason why we finally gave in is like, is because,
When did you give in? When?
okay,
At what age?
so I believe Micah was 16 and
Okay,
Sydney
okay.
was 14. And the reason why
Uh,
is because Micah is very, very quiet in the back
uh,
of the car. Okay.
uh,
So we were on vacation and while we pulled into the gas station and everybody gets out to get drinks, I stay in the car. My daughter gets out. My son gets out, but I didn't know this. And so we pull away. This is on
uh,
vacation.
uh-huh.
We pull away and thank God, we only drove a mile down the road to get something to eat. We all get out of the car
Oh
and I'm
no.
looking and
I,
I'm like,
I think
where's Micah?
I think I know where you're going with it.
We had and then we all quick jump back in the car. We drive back there and he's just
Yeah.
standing there like,
Oh no.
really? I said, Micah, I mean, even
I'm
if he had
sorry.
gotten, yeah, even if he had gotten back in the car, he would have quietly got back. Sometimes he would like lay down in the back
Yeah.
so we wouldn't even see him. He was just like,
Home,
really?
home alone. Like, ah,
And I'm like, okay. I got out
Kevin.
of the car and I hugged him and I was like, oh my gosh. I just kept thinking in my mind, what if we didn't drive a mile? We
Right.
would have thought he was in the back sleeping or
Forever.
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so thankfully it was only like literally 60 seconds. But at that point, I was like, okay, my children need cell phones so they can call
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this.
You know,
So at that point we did, yeah.
we have a lot of things in common because we share the same philosophy as well in
Yeah.
regard to those uh, gadgets
Yeah.
and we just got a little one because he really wants one. He's 11
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
he really wants a smartphone, but
Yeah.
we got him one of those because of security reasons and communication
Right.
reasons. We
Yeah.
got him one of those old
The
Nokia's
flip phone.
with with keys. Like, what is this? What are they for?
It's like one of those with the big antenna.
I know,
It's
I
like,
know. Sometimes he changed himself. He doesn't want to take him, but
right,
he
right.
because the other kids, the cool kids, they have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one with the colors and screen. But now
right.
he takes him with him, and that's good because things like
Yeah,
that.
right, right.
No, I
There
mean,
has to be
yes,
security.
but yeah, I mean, it's a very complex world.
It
It's very
is.
different from
Our
the
generation, yeah.
world, our
Yeah.
generation, and I sometimes I I log in and I watch. I mean, some of these videos in YouTube because they're becoming really, really, really popular and
Yeah.
regarding you know blogs on and relationships. And
Yeah.
what does it mean to be a man, or what does it mean to be a woman, or what's what does a man is looking for in a
Right.
woman, and things like that. And some of those talks are very fascinating, and what I see in the on what I gather from the background in regard to how kids date today
Yeah.
is just way too different
It's so different.
than back then.
Yeah.
When I was dating. So I'm glad those years are behind me because
Yes,
it's just like, it's a jungle out there. It
it
really is.
is. It
It's really
is.
hard. So
I
I feel.
remember,
Yeah, go ahead. Because I
I
was
rem
just one comment.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
going to say that sometimes I really feel bad for some of those kids.
yeah.
It's it's a battle. It's a battle.
It
Mm-hmm.
is. And it's a battle for their souls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like we know what
Mm-hmm.
the real, the battle is. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember, I think when our oldest was dating, I had heard this. I don't remember, it was probably like in church or something, or maybe one of
Mm-hmm.
the pastors said it, but I loved it because he said, instead of pursuing like a girl or a guy or whatever, what you should be doing is pursuing Christ.
Right.
And while you're pursuing Christ, turn to the right and left and see who else is beside you pursuing the
Yes.
same. That's the one for you. And I was
Right.
like,
Right.
but that's hard, because kids are not kids, as we get older, we're like, oh, that's our passion. But when kids are, younger and they're dating, they want to pursue their friends. They want to pursue the girls, the guys.
They have other
Um,
priorities.
yeah, it's so easy to tell them that,
Right.
but we're just really, really blessed that with Sydney,
Right.
what we're seeing is, and I'm sure Micah as well, but right now he's not dating. But
Right.
with Sydney, it was that. It was her pursuing Christ and not being ashamed to tell Caleb, hey, if you want me, this is where I'll be. And he
Right.
was like, oh, that's where I'm going to be too. Not
So
because
what?
you're there, but because that's what I want as well. So they're just it's
Mm,
such a blessing.
that's great.
It's amazing. It's,
So
yeah.
so this is just very fresh. I mean,
Okay.
she got engaged,
Yeah.
and I mean, you are just taking it in still, or did it
Yeah.
sink already, or are
I
you
think
still
it's
on the
been,
clouds?
well, I guess I've been preparing for it. I knew it was coming, so my heart was ready for I viewed him as my son, but now we're in the actual planning, which
Mm.
is
Oh, yes,
a
another.
lot. Yeah, like that
Yeah.
now it's like
Well, I don't want to live that again either.
yeah, it's really, and even with my own wedding,
Right.
I remember telling my mom, whatever, like I'm not that kind of, I'm definitely not a bridezilla. I'm like, sure, that looks great. Yep, that's awesome. So, and my daughter is very much like that too. She's like,
Okay.
help, help. Like there's no like, oh, I must. It's like, so it's gonna
So
be,
some of those films, those the wedding planner or the father of the
yeah,
bride and things like that. I
yeah,
remember watching those films when I was single,
yeah,
or even during the first years of my marriage. And so, like,
uh-huh.
who does that?
I,
What kind of
yeah,
people? Well, I assume some people do things like
I'm
that, but
sure. Yeah.
just like setting the standard, like that high. Like,
Yeah.
my gosh.
And my daughter is actually like, if I say to her, well, this is a reasonable amount, she'll say, oh no, that is way beyond the budget. And I'm like, you're not even paying for it. What are you talking about?
What are you
She's
talking
like,
about?
I am not going to have a wedding that is that exorbitant, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's really nice. But at the same time, you know, uh, I think she doesn't realize how much we still need her input because we want this to be her
Right.
wedding.
Yeah.
And so it's
Something to
kind of
remember.
like, yeah, it's like, okay, we need to plan this. Okay, we need to go look at these things and figure out so that
Right.
part is coming. I don't know
Well,
how that's going to be.
I don't envy you that part.
Thank you.
But I'm sure you will enjoy it.
Yeah, we will. We will
I know.
enjoy it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's special. Did you had a huge wedding? I mean, you said
No,
I
I
kind of
don't think it
gathered.
was,
No?
yeah, I
Okay.
don't think it was that big. I think it was a really nice wedding though. Like
Okay.
I remember kind of relinquishing most of the things just to my mom. I think I I had choice over everything, but I just kind of relinquished it. But I remember I had a say over like the colors that I liked, and I chose my dress, but everything else I trusted my mom. She's really, really good with that. And she gave a beautiful wedding, you know. And so she's very excited. She is all about
I
Sydney's
know. I
wedding,
can
you
imagine.
know.
Yeah.
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 And my sister too. My sister is just like they both, my mom and my sister have the best eye. They know how to plan things. So I'm like, just tell me what to do, tell me, you know. So I think it's gonna be okay because we have all the right people doing all the right things, and everybody respects each other and loves each other, and we don't want conflict, you know. So I think it's gonna be okay.
All right. All right. No, well, I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, because it is special. I mean, it is special. I
Yes.
mean,
She's our
to
only daughter, so
it has to be. Two families coming together and
yeah.
starting a new family. And hey, he calls you mom, so what is
Yes.
not to like about the whole thing? Right?
Exactly.
How did your husband took it?
Really well. Again, I think it's
I
because
mean, I'm
he's been
asking
in our
because and
house.
it will be interesting to hear
Yes.
the
Yeah.
father's
Yeah.
perspective.
Exactly. And everybody, I told him yesterday, everybody's asking, how's Joe? How's Joe? You know,
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, he's doing really well because this young man, like, I think it's really difficult for, kids that go away to school and
right,
then they bring the boyfriend home, and then
uh,
all of a sudden they're like, this is the one, and you have to embrace all of this in a weekend, you
right,
know? But
right,
for us, we literally watched. So when Caleb came to the camp, guess who his boss is?
right,
Joe.
right,
So like, and he loves working with Joe. He thinks Joe is really funny, and like, and so we have literally had him in our home for over a year
right.
every day. So it's just been a natural
It's a
progression. And
very
yeah, it's been so, and I think that was just a real kindness from the Lord because this is his baby girl. And
uh,
this could have been a really hard thing for him to say, I trust this young man with your heart. But
yeah.
he's been able
You,
to say it.
just to think about it, like, oh my gosh, I wonder how is it going to be with me. Well, I have three, as I said, but I
Yeah.
assume once the first one, once
It gets
the
easier,
first
maybe.
one, then the next one will be easier. I hope.
Yeah.
Well, I hope. Well,
I don't know.
my hope in the Lord is that they will
Yeah.
find good husbands.
Yes.
And this is such important thing today because I was just um, uh, talking about young age and relationships and our current situation and future
Yeah.
and whatever. I realize how important it is for kids in this age to find the right person at an
Yeah.
early age.
Yes.
I was that believer
Mm-hmm.
in getting married early in life,
Mm-hmm.
but today even more.
Yeah.
And it, at the end I didn't. I was a little older. I did. My goal was to get married by 24. When I was
Okay.
24.
That's a good
Uh,
age.
I think it was a good age, and for
It
me,
is. Yeah.
when I came to that realization, I was about 12. It's weird. I know. It's only well,
That's awesome.
when do I think when I'm 24, I will already have my wife. That was my
That's
thinking.
awesome.
I don't know. It took a little more than that, but my wife was 24,
Okay.
and we had our kids really 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 early. I mean,
Uh-huh.
like really close together. Like
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
years in between, right?
That's good.
And yeah, so today it's just uh, I don't know. It's very easy going because my wife is still very young, and our kids, they are practically adults. Well, not really, well, two of them, like 18
Yeah.
and the other one is 16, but the
Yeah.
other ones are very close by. So
Right.
life is becoming really easy going, because they
Yes.
are more independent. They are
Yeah.
more, they are maturing, and for us, it's not a huge load.
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I think I think it's important if you find the right person.
Yep.
This is this is for everyone that is watching us. This is not a relationship advice, but I think it's a good age to find the right. Well, you
Yeah.
don't have to force it, but I mean, if you find it, I think getting married at a young age is it's a good thing. I think.
I think so too, because you have energy,
Mm,
I mean, but I've seen older moms and dads do it as well that have the energy and they've waited. So some people like they do that whole like they experience life and then they like invest in their kids and it works. For me though, I love it. I love
mm,
that I had the energy of a young
mm.
mom
Right.
and I had the fortitude to kind of deal with all those things. And now I'm finally at the age where both, our middle son, Micah and Sydney, are both in the house still, but
Mm.
they love it. They're
Right.
20 and 22 and we've said to them, you do not have to leave.
Mm.
We are
Right.
very much enjoying this new adult era, where we're
Mm.
all working adults in the home and it just works. And like you said, when you get into that nice, like where there's just peace in the
Really,
home,
it's amazing.
it's such a joy to
Mm.
be in your home,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just can't agree more. It's
Mm.
we're loving it. We love this era. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, it's a great time. Well, we'll be talking. I'm sure we'll be talking in the future more about the wedding plans and things
Yeah.
like that as the day comes closer.
Yes.
But congratulations once again,
Thank you. Thank you.
and of course to your daughter again
Yeah.
also. And I forgot his name. What is his
Caleb.
Caleb and
Hmm.
Caleb. Hey, Caleb. I don't know if you're watching, but
They will.
congratulations.
I'll tell them. Come watch. Come watch. I
All
gushed
right.
all about
All
you.
right. Yes, then the whole world knows about it now. Well, Dreamie, before we leave, I mean, we were talking about relationships and love and family and all of that. But uh, let me put you on the spot. And before
Okay.
we leave, if you can give a relationship advice to
Mm,
those young kids that are watching
yeah.
us at this time, or maybe like parents that are coming into that phase with their kids, what would that
Yeah.
be? You just don't be too heavy duty if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
if you can give us one advice, what would that
I think it would be to the kids,
be? Hmm.
and it would be patient. It's
Hmm.
so hard to be patient, but it pays off. And in the time that you're being patient, you really are growing. You really are changing and maturing. You're making all those little mistakes just by yourself, not publicly, not in a relationship. And then when that special person comes, you're so much more ready for them. So just be patient. That's
Just
my
be patient.
advice.
That's a good advice. That's a good advice. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I probably will add, please don't post everything on the social media.
exactly. Just shh.
Be
Keep
smart.
it keep it quiet.
I know. Well, Dreamy, it was a pleasure as always,
Yes,
and
always.
we'll be back next week,
Yes.
and we'll continue with more live talk. That's the way we want to be, right?
Yeah.
So until then, everyone have a wonderful, successful, and blessed day. Until next time, bye bye.
Bye.